Hello, everybody. I'm your boss, Joe Boss, and welcome to another daily plan. Today we have a new special edition, Macro Monday, where I'm going to go ahead and cover some of the economic events that we're going to be seeing over the rest of the week. In last week's Friday stream, the week ahead plan, I went ahead and said, hey, we're going to be looking at Japan inflation, which actually came out today, RBNZ, which comes out on Wednesday, and then we have some preliminary European inflation numbers. If you scroll all the way down here, you'll be able to catch them. Yeah, you can see CPI, unemployment, CPI, inflation, preliminary inflation out of Germany, core PCE out of the US, GDP out of Canada. This is all on Friday. So we got quite a week ahead of us, and it's mostly loaded towards the end of the week where we start to see more significant macroeconomic events. My internet keeps dropping out here. Don't know what's going on with my internet again. Yeah, that's weird. It's been working fine all day now. As soon as I start to stream, it's like, no, you can't have an internet connection. You're not allowed to. Yeah, I wonder what's going on. My internet connection just like dropped in half. Let me run a quick speed test. Give me one moment here. Yeah, I wonder what's going on with the internet here. Well, I should have enough data here to do my stream, but something's going on with the stream. Oh, I'm seeing if I can fix it here real quick. All right, we should be back. Well, I just stopped and restarted the stream, and everything seems to be normal. I wonder what happened there. That was too weird. Yep, everything is showing up A-OK now. All the internet's good. I don't know, that was where I just stopped and started the stream again, and now everything's working hunky-dory. So I don't know what that was all about. Sorry for the delay. Yeah, too weird. We got a little glitch, a little bug. All right, so let's get into this. So I'll go ahead and repeat because I don't know if it came through or not in the stream, if we got chopped off or not. But we got a special edition here, Macro Monday. We're going to be covering some of the major economic events going over into this week and see if our expectations that we made at the end of last week so far are holding up. And across all the charts that I've checked out so far, they seem to be holding up quite well. And then we'll go over a couple of things that I find maybe a bit concerning for these expectations going forward, some risks, if you could say. Okay, let's go and check out. We're on the DXY already. So we set an expectation to go down to these lows. We've now hit them. We're sticking around them. And then the next expectation is up into these highs here. And if we look at this, yeah, still some room potentially to go lower. And if we look at our highs, quite a lot of highs, like 80+% highs are above 104.187. And considering the high for this week is up here so far, I'll go ahead and say I'm okay with this expectation still going into the week ahead. However, some of the risks that I am pointing out are not necessarily to the US dollar alone. We have some idiosyncratic risks for the various currencies in the G7. Specifically on Wednesday, we have RBNZ. And RBNZ, yeah, this one did not follow expectations at all. While the dollar did go lower at the beginning of this week, we have started moving down a lot faster. So this upwards expectation wasn't met, but we're still following in line with our midweek expectation. Hitting these lows, potentially we'll see the rebound going into the end of the week, depending on how hawkish the RBNZ will be. So all in all, fairly decent expectations there on New Zealand dollar. We had yen inflation today, and the yen inflation, Japan's inflation, came in lower. So inflation rate year over year, actual was 2.2, prior was 2.6, inflation rate month over month, 0 versus 0.1. And then the core is also coming a bit lower. This is good if you're a BOJ hawk, because as that inflation comes down, that's going to give the BOJ some leeway to hike. So let's go ahead and check out the dollar yen. So if the yen's getting stronger, this chart should go down. And it looks like on the release of that information, we started moving lower. I should actually change this to red real quick. Oh. Text. Gonna go ahead and copy this template red, paste that back in. So it matches our expectation. We're having bearish expectations, so that's red. So we had a likely top. In fact, if we look at the indicator here, this says 8.957. And if we look at our whole range here, this value here is the strongest. It's the highest, most dense value. So this is the most likely spot to find your top for a given week. And down here is the most likely spot to find your low for a given week. So considering our highs here, so far we had this wick lower that took us down here. I think going into midweek, given this information on lower Japanese inflation, we'll probably see a more hawkish expectation grow for the BOJ at their next meeting. So this should go lower following our net expectation. We can also check out New Zealand yen, which will be a choppy one, I believe. So we got our down move. It's moving much further than expected, actually, right off the bat here on the release of that information. But New Zealand yen can be insanely volatile, especially if you do get the more hawkish RBNZ policy that comes out in the middle of this week. You can see the rebound all the way up to this high here. You can see this whole move totally reverse on that move. It could create quite a bit of volatility. So far, yen is getting stronger, and over the next 24-ish hours or so, I'd expect continued strength out of the yen, going at least into on this pair for the New Zealand pair until you get that RBNZ. For the rest of these, it's probably going to be a bit more down. Aussie yen's probably going to go to sub, what's that, 98. So we can go ahead and at this point, even though I didn't set an expectation for this last week, I can set an expectation for it now to go down here, to continue going lower. So let's go ahead and timestamp this. Also, as a little curiosity, if I remember, dollar, yen, yeah, it's fine. All good, all good. Let's check out the euro dollar. Euro dollar following expectations, following the DXY very closely right now. We'll see if we get that dollar strength going into the middle of the week. So this is the primary spot that I want to maybe bring some attention to, is that once you start crossing these thresholds here, call it 103.6, going down another 20 or 30 or 40 points is in the cards. So I would imagine that there's probably some stops around here on people who want to go long the dollar somewhere around here. And if we translate that into the DXY pairs, you can look at this and see roughly the same scenario. It would look along these lines. Oh, grabbed it at the wrong spot, but I think you get what I'm talking about. If we go ahead and bring up our seasonal odds, you can see it's like 60% of the time your high. It leads to a lot of uncertainty as to where your high is going to be. But if you look at it on the downside, quite a lot of your lows, the most of your lows are down here in the mid 107 handle. So we'll continue holding this expectation going into this week. Let's see. Aussie is really missing out on the bullish expectations. It's been getting hit quite a bit. What's interesting is that if you check out the Aussie-New Zealand pair, Aussie-New Zealand is actually holding in there. We had considerably stronger bullish expectations for Australia going into the middle of this week. But then again, this would be based on the expectation that you have not as hawkish of an RBNZ. If the RBNZ does come out more hawkish and they say, yeah, we're going to have to seriously consider another hike because inflation isn't coming down as quickly as we'd want, but we're probably going to have to do that hike at the next meeting, then you'll see this fall in very definitively into the 105 handle. Let's go ahead and check out Aussie dollar one more time. So Aussie dollar moving much more strongly, much more strongly. What's interesting is that the dollar is getting weaker, but Australia is just really not holding in there. Let's go ahead and check out our likely lows. Oh wow, we're here at the probability weighted pivot. So instead of up then down, it might be prudent to say that now we have some up potential at this point going forward. But like I said with the euro dollar example, there are these risks of sliding to lower prices. And don't get me wrong, this would be about a 40 pip slide potentially. There could probably be a big fat bottom wick somewhere around here. But it doesn't seem like Australia is holding up against pretty much any of these pairs. Yeah, I might want to rein in that expectation here. Yeah. Let's go ahead and rein that in a little bit. Not a great week for Aussie. No. Looks pretty autocorrelated though. You got these little red candles in there, but it doesn't seem to be stopping this run here. And now that you're getting your reds in a row, probably a few more red candles in a row, and then some crazy bottom wick, and then a reversal off that. We'll see. We will see. Let's go ahead and check out NQ. NQ sideways. I thought I'd see a bit more volatility, a bit more of a sharper move lower. But all within nominal expectations for a given week. So yeah, we might not see this down move as strong, but this up one still in play. Let's go ahead and check out ES. ES is weakening as expected, unlike the NQ. According to the expectations we set from last week, probably going to fall a bit more into the mid 50-50s. And then from there, we'll probably see this rebound, although this rebound might take a bit more time. Let me undo that move. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm still expecting new highs going into this week or potentially next week. It's once the Fed starts saying, okay, we're from this point on, we're going to continue holding policy for longer, that could really send the S&P quite a bit lower, or if growth does come in significantly lower, future growth expectations for the United States, that is. However, the PMIs don't really indicate that. Let's go and check out crude. Well, crude went and hit the low expectation really on the very first bar here, and then went straight to the high expectation. So it hit all these targets a lot sooner than I expected. So now kind of the last part is the closing odds, which is like this. So probably oil stays range bound between this high and this low for the rest of the week. Let's check out gold. I was expecting more bullish move out of gold, but it's not out of the question still. I remember when I was doing my analysis last Friday that I said, I just have more bullish expectation and then a close higher. So we'll see how net this plays out. Obviously, we're not hitting it this expectation right now, but potentially by the middle of the week, we could still hit this and then close at the nominal spot. Or just have some nice low volatility positive drift like we had in this chunk of space here. All right, let's go ahead and check out crypto. Ethereum finally passed 3,000. Check that out. And we got our little blue line expectation, probably to close around this spot, around this peak for the month. And it looks like the expectation has held up. This one was from 219, today's 226, so about 7 days ago we set this expectation. And this wasn't a particularly crazy or hard expectation to make, but it certainly was easier when I could see these odds in this peak in this distribution to make that. And then we got a nice bump here, a similar sort of look on the monthly distribution for our closes here. So yeah, Bitcoin's probably going to end up closing somewhere around this peak into the end of the month. Great moves for crypto over the last few days here. And then we can go ahead and check out a couple of equities. ARK doing well, probably responding to a bit of the crypto stuff. We have our latest expectation right here, also from 7 days ago, to close in this spot on the distribution for the month. Looks like it's going to close above the 50 spot. NVIDIA holding these highs. Essentially, NVIDIA is a monopoly at this point because they are producing so much of the equipment needed for a lot of AI utilities. And the growth for NVIDIA going forward is very, very likely to continue. Oh, looks like my internet just dropped out again. I don't know. No. Well, all right, dropped frames 0. Good. Yeah, I don't know what's going on today with the internet. It's just intermittently dropping. Sorry about that, guys. I'll go ahead and try to figure it out and make it so that then this doesn't happen in tomorrow's streams. Okay, so yeah. Nice, positive, future bullish expectation. I think the forecast I saw was like 1,600, essentially a double. And let's go ahead and check out Apple. Apple is really not holding up too well, but again, the expectation is that it just stays in this range between 181, 184, this $3 range into the end of the month. Yep. All looks good here. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you guys watching when the internet keeps going in and out, so I'll go ahead and call the stream here. And I'll be on tomorrow, and I'll figure out what's going on with the internet. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next stream. Nice to see that our expectations have held up so far. Let's